Welcome to the New England Job Show, a show created especially for job seekers. I'm your host, Lisa McHugh, and joining us today are Susanne Gray and Margie Pascetta, who are going to help us delve into the world of entrepreneurship, taking us from employment to empowerment. Welcome, ladies. Here's a little background information. Susanne and Margie own and operate independent offices of the Entrepreneur's Source, the leading business coaching organization in North America. As small business coaches, Susanne and Margie provide complimentary coaching services for professionally minded people who are interested in investing in themselves through business ownership. They'll help you focus on your unique personal goals and visions as a business owner. They educate about business ownership and help explore business options that meet your specific criteria using a step-by-step process. Would you explain for our viewers why they should consider entrepreneurship versus what used to be traditional employment?
Well, Lisa, one of the obvious responses to that question is the unemployment rate right now is 10% across the country, and in the Northeast it's about 9.4%. So many people are now looking at self-employment as an alternative to the traditional employee-employer relationship. Another piece of information I think that your viewers might be interested in is that there's been a survey that indicates that if you do get a job now, you'll likely be in that job for about 3.7 years. So people are looking at self-employment. But what our clients usually tell us is that they want to be in control of their destiny. They're looking at having financial security and financial independence. They really want to be their own boss. They want to make their own decisions, and they're really interested in flexibility. Some people want flexibility in how they work or where they work, the hours they work. So it's about finding that work-life balance, and that's what most of our clients tell us.
Right, and with the entrepreneurship, that gives them that flexibility versus working for corporate America where it's pretty much cookie-cutter these days, a lot of it.
That's correct.
Right.
Yeah.
Margie, can you help us understand better the different types of business ventures that are available to us as we get out there, and also some of the characteristics that we'll find in those ventures?
There are basically three different options that you can consider when you look at self-employment. The first is that you could start your own independent business or consulting practice. You could buy an existing independent business, or you could own a franchise. Some of the characteristics of an independent business are really independent business ownership offers no assurances. An independent business owner can succeed, but they really have to have a marketable product or service. They have to have the knowledge of how to start, market, operate, and manage the business. They need access to capital and expertise, and most of all, they need to be willing to go at it alone.
And to be sure that what they're offering as an independent is needed in the particular area that they're in at the time.
Absolutely. And a little good luck wouldn't hurt either. Right. It is a pretty high-risk environment, but there are people that thrive in this type of an environment. Purchasing an existing business is a little bit less risky, and that's because they usually have an established track record and reputation, and they usually have existing customers, which means immediate cash flow. But sometimes it's a lower perceived risk because the value of the business may be at its peak, and therefore you end up investing in a more expensive option. Franchising compared to these first two options really franchisors aren't looking for any particular expertise and background. They're looking for people that are managers and marketers that do the most important things an entrepreneur needs to do to make their business successful. Franchising mitigates a lot of the risk of business ownership, as you said, because they provide you with proven business processes as well as training and ongoing support. So you have all the benefits of being in business for yourself, but not by yourself. It's interdependent. The franchisor cannot be successful unless the franchisee is successful, and vice versa. Also, there are a lot of myths out there about franchising. People think of franchising just as fast food, or they think of the most obvious franchises like McDonald's and Dunkin' Donuts. Franchising, there's over 6,000 franchises in the United States today and over 75 different industries.
So we can thank McDonald's for the original, right? I mean,
absolutely.
It just keeps going from there. Well, Susanne, now that we understand about the different types, how do we know which one's going to be right for us with all those options?
Yes, Lisa, it's really about looking at the individual, the person who wants to own the business. What's important to them? What are their goals, their personal goals, their professional goals, and their financial goals? And what are their transferable skills? Really digging deep and thinking about what your vision is of what you want your life to look like 3 to 5 years from now. The worst thing you want to do is get into a business and invest that time and money and effort and have it be something that you don't enjoy. So this process is about finding what would be a good fit. So thinking about all those types of things, your work-life balance, as well as your family makeup and what's important to you as far as your family goes.
Right.
And, taking all that information in and evaluating your options using that criteria as a guideline. So it's sort of learning more about yourself initially and then learning about the business options that are out there and what would be a good fit for you.
And not to limit yourself, too, by your past experience. Because if you're looking at this progressive step into a new business, you don't want to do the cookie cutter thing to yourself where if this is what you've always done, well, I guess that's the type of business I should be looking for. So you help people broaden so that they don't have those limitations as far as what their vision is.
Right.
As well.
Exactly. And, just going on from that, we work with many people who are looking for a job and also simultaneously looking at a business. And so what we ask them to do is keep their options open. The narrower your focus, whether you're looking for a job or looking at business opportunities, the narrower your field is going to be. And so you're more likely to be able to find something when you think about what your transferable skills are and how you can put those to use. And of course, we recommend that you use a coach in this process because a coach can provide you feedback and an unbiased look at what your goals are and what you've outlined is what you want your life to look like and how that fits in with whatever option it is that you're exploring.
And to help keep that focus. What process do we use to get started with this?
So we believe that a business or any career choice for that matter should be a vehicle that helps you to achieve your personal goals. So we call our coaching process an inside-out approach to helping our clients explore their options. And really the first part of it is an educational compartment, and we have a number of tools available to us that we can use to help crystallize the results you'd like from your new career direction. And we do that by clarifying what your unique personal goals, needs, and expectations are. We identify your emotional motivators and your transferable skills, and we sort of take inventory of your circumstances. And then we take you through a very methodical professional process where you do an information gathering. It's really not a buying process, it's a learning process. And you do information gathering to see if business opportunities meet your specific criteria. And you do that by speaking to people and interviewing people, speaking to others that have already invested in those types of businesses, and we continue to act as your coach and advisor and advocate as you go through that due diligence.
And again, people shouldn't limit themselves with the type of vision that they're preparing. If you've decided that you'd like to be home for 20 hours out of the week and only work 20, that you can build that into your vision and
absolutely.
And it would become part of what's best suited for you.
We're in the business of possibilities, options, and dreams, and we don't want people to limit their vision. And one of our jobs as a coach is to encourage people to continue to keep an open mind, as you were.
Maybe you have a success story for us, Susanne, of people that have followed that vision and have now become successful with the process.
I worked with a couple. Their names are Heidi and Bob, and Heidi is a marketing guru. She's just, a real tiger when it comes to marketing. And Bob was a stay-at-home dad and took care of the kids.
Good for Bob.
I know, exactly.
Yay, Bob.
Yes. And so Bob, their kids at the time were 6 and 4, and so Bob really, kept the home front going, but he decided it was time for him to get into a business of his own, and they wanted to explore franchises. So when I met them, they were really interested in looking at children's businesses, specifically the kind that where you have the trampolines and the kids go there for birthday parties and that type of thing. It's it's very popular with the young kids. They go and they play, or that kind of thing. So they were looking at that particular business model, and when I talked to them about what their goals were and what was important to them. And some of the things that were important were spending time with the kids and being available to go to the kids' after-school activities, and on the weekends be able to spend time with their kids. So as we went through this process, I showed them that type of business model, but I also showed them other models that had more of a weekday type of limitations as far as the time that they would need to put into the business.
Right.
So I asked them, with that children's business, would that allow you to spend time with your 2 daughters on evenings and weekends, or is that the time that business is going to be the most busy?
Right.
And a light bulb went off for them.
Because all of the games, should they be involved in sports and all of the other, you need that free time.
To go to their soccer games,
right,
and to go to their after-school activities and that kind of thing, and on the weekends. So they actually ended up in a senior care business. So they went from a children's business to senior care,
right,
which has much more controlled hours, and they have an office manager so that they can leave the responsibilities with the office manager when they want to be paying attention to their children's activities.
And when they started, was it one of the complimentary coaching services for you as to how they first started with you, or did they go online? Or?
They actually found me through a referral. They talked to somebody that had met me before and knew what kind of service that I provided. And so that person, it was actually a financial investment person, their financial investor. When they were talking about opening a business, she said, well, if you're looking at franchises, you really need to talk to Susanne Gray, because you need to really explore everything that's out there to make sure you find the right fit.
And it worked for them.
It did.
Great. And for many others in the future, I hope as well. Thank you both. Susanne Gray and Margie Pascetta, coaches for the Entrepreneur Source. I'm Lisa McHugh for the New England Job Show. Thank you for joining us. We wish you success taking employment to empowerment.